Today we're going to talk about the simple ledger. The purpose of chapter 3 was to show you the effect of transactions on the financial position of a company. In that chapter, you took a look at transactions and how they kept the financial position of a company up to date. In any active business, many transactions occur every day. And in the last chapter, what we did is we used that equation analysis sheet, but we actually don't use that in the real world. It's a great practice to understand, the impact of each of the transactions on multiple accounts. To be able to handle them all, accountants use a more complete system based on the concepts that we learned in chapter 3. So in this chapter, you're going to be learning about the system that we use to maintain the financial position. First of all, we need to learn about some definitions. So the first definition is an account. An account is simply a page designed to record the changes for a certain item on the balance sheet. So one of the things we talk about in accounting are the books. So there are several books, and in pre-computer times, everything was done manually, as we're going to do it in this class, because it has a greater sticky factor. One of the books is the general journal, the general ledger, all those kinds of things. And in the ledger, which is what we're going to talk about in this chapter, every page, so think about a book, every page is devoted to one item on the balance sheet. And so that item is called, or that page is called the account. And then the whole book is called the ledger. And then there's a joke here. Heath Ledger is a late actor known for playing the Joker. So ledger accounts. There are many ways to create a ledger. In the real world, everything's computerized. In class, we're going to use paper to learn the accounting theory. Each item, as I mentioned, each item is an account, that's on the balance sheet, has its own page in the ledger. And we're going to learn about T accounts and how they help us learn about the ledger. T accounts are called T accounts because they look like an account, or they look like a T rather. So you've got the account name at the top, a T, and then you've got a left side and a right side. The left side is the debit side, the right side is the credit side. And if you open your textbooks to page 89, you'll see a selection of T accounts. And they're sorted in a certain way as well. If you look on page 89 at the bottom, you'll see they've grouped all the asset accounts together, all the liability accounts together, and the owner's equity accounts together in the order of the fundamental financial equation. It's key to understand what side of the ledger the beginning balance is on. Assets are on the left, liabilities and owner's equity have a beginning balance on the right. On the first day, we went over D.C. Adler, who will be your friend forever. So if you look at, what D.C. Adler means is that all of the aids, the assets, drawings, and expenses have a normal balance on the left side, which is the debit side. Liabilities, equity, and revenue have a normal balance on the right side, which is the credit side. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is copy the T account relationship into your notes. That is on page 90. Which is really, again, another version of the D.C. Adler. And then what you're going to do, and I'm really going to try and follow my slides. So this takes us to the end of 4.1. And then on Monday morning, we will start 4.2. And I haven't been very good at this, at giving you time or giving the other cohort time to do work in class. So I'll post the whole slideshow. It'll be divided by the various units within the chapter. It'll have the work, and I'll just go over each of those units per day. Now, when I was talking to some of your calculus teacher, yes, oh no, it was your 3U math teacher. So she was just saying that, you know, in calculus, the idea is that you're doing 3 hours of work a day. So that includes your class time as well, okay? So, and really when you think about it, that's what we should be doing in this class as well. So if we've got, you know, a 2.5-hour class, hopefully I'm giving you enough time in class to do some work, so you may only have half an hour after, or maybe sometimes an hour after for our class for homework. When we have our 75-minute class, we're going to squish in 2 lessons there. So the first 20 minutes will be lesson, and then the last 20. So you'll have some work time, and then the rest will be done. Then you'll have about 75 minutes of work. You know, every day's gonna be a little different, but just so you know how to manage your time. The biggest thing is just to get me to stop talking so you can actually work. So that's it for today. Work on these questions here.